All right. Welcome, Xina. And we give you the time now for your personal testimony.
Thank you, Pastor.
You're welcome.
Oh, okay.
Yes, you can. Now.
Uh, First things first, thank you. Uh, Hello, everyone. I know it's early in the morning, but yeah, I'm so happy to be here, especially with you guys and share my testimony. I mean, it's still new opening up to people. I mean, I love sharing stories. I love interaction, interpersonal relationships, and talking with people. But I think uh, the challenges I faced was I think a rough one, but also a powerful one too, an eye opening and a spiritual awakening as well. So, like Pastor mentioned, he was my pastor at my church growing up. I was best friends, more like a sister to his daughter Ella, and until he moved, I was so devastating, but I would still keep, connected with him. I visit Ella in high school. I went her graduation, and then she moved to PUC, and then I saw her senior year, where my senior trip has Hawaii went to visit the schools in California, and she was a freshman there, and that's the last time I saw her. And then from there, we try to keep communication. But yeah, so I was born and raised in Hawaii. I'm currently here at Andrews University. Who would have thought I would be here? Um, but yeah, I think my big testimony is that I knew God from such a young age, but never really practiced it at home since it wasn't really the best, you know, home, I guess, conservative in a church, mostly in a culture. But we would still go to church because I mean, Pastor Eddie was the best pastor I've ever had since growing up, and especially being friends with his daughter. It was just such a seed planted in my heart to know Jesus through them. And from there, like everything changed. I mean, I would go to public school, and then from high school, eighth grade, I would go to a private school, academy that was Adventist. And so it was pretty eye opening to see different environments, but still hold Jesus to my heart in a unique way. Not until fast forwarding to college life, I was in a 6 year relationship with my ex boyfriend. And that's where it all started with when you're an adult, it's more, you have more knowledge and wisdom and grasp who is exactly God, not because a child like God is so loving and all this, but really questioning my faith in a deeper level of, okay, you said you are God, but what is exactly your character like, in a personal relationship level. And so I started to question that a lot. I started to, do Bible studies and get more involved in church. And that's when God was like, yeah, I'm using you. Don't know what that would look like, but I want you into the ministry field. And so, or I want you to pursue me first. And so I had a lot of prayer, a lot of fasting, and I came to the conclusion that I need to know who Xina is, my identity first, and then my identity through Christ. And so I had to leave that relationship. And so it was hard because, choosing God is the most beautiful thing, but yet it's easier said than done until you really grasp the understanding of his undeserving love. And so I did that. It was hard. It wasn't the best relationship, but it wasn't the most perfect either. So it was really hard leaving my best friend, a 6 year relationship. After that storm happened, and I just yelled to God, like, where are you? Okay, this happened. I said yes to you, but what is the next step? A week later, Ella died. And that was even more to my thing. And mind you, I was alone. My family was traveling in Washington state and going to New York, and my brothers were all gone. It was just me in my house and my two dogs just battling all this, just me and God. And my two dogs who were there, they're literally angels. And so I was like, another storm. I first left my boyfriend, my ex, and now I'm having my best friend, childhood best friend, who planted that seed in my heart. And now I'm like questioning God. I feel like Moses, just like literally show me your glory. Like, where are you? And so I went to my secret place up in the mountain where I live. I call it my Mount Sinai. Funny thing, now talking about Moses' experience. I literally yelled at him. I cried to him. I questioned him. I'm like, if you are really God, show me. Like, show me who you are. Make me bloom. Make me go in my comfort zone. Let me just get out of the shell that I am and help me to experience you and what this all means. So after grieving and dealing with this for almost 3 months, I, you know, visit the family, mourn with them and shared my testimony too. And now here, I mean, I don't even know. It was really rough. But looking back, like I wouldn't be, the person I am now if I haven't gone through that. And so after that whole semester was rough, I started to get more involved in the church and I met friends who were interning there as pastors. And there were interns from Southern and Andrews and other Union College and other sorts of Adventist college doing their internship has they're all theology and religion majors. And I met a couple of them because they were friends from Southern. And I was like, oh, what are you doing here? They're telling me that they're doing their internship. And I was like, what are you doing here? I was like, this is post grad. I'm figuring things out. I I graduated my associates in Southern as health science, thinking I was going to pursue physician assistant, but I just took a year off because all that thing happened, and I don't know where life entails after this. But I'm just taking a year off, and they're like, "Oh, would you like to help out? With us? We're doing a lot of youth ministries and outreach stuff." And I was like, "Oh yeah, I have time to spare," and so I was doing part time working at a vet clinic and part time doing the Lord's work. It's just randomly pulled in. I was like a free volunteer intern, I guess you can call it, working with the Hawaii conference. And we would travel all the islands to, go to the Adventist schools and do outreach ministries with the young kids, the schools, and even young adults too. Would do gatherings and vespers and all that stuff. And then while going home, I would host vespers, young adults, in my Friday night vespers at my house. And it was just started to see God's, working. I'm like, okay, community is the first thing. His love, worshiping and doing all these good deeds. But, I kept reminding myself, like, whoa, like I'm getting out there. I'm such an introverted. I felt like a butterfly, like once in a cocoon, metaphorsis, and now I'm blooming into this beautiful person, knowing who Xina is. And after that, I was working part time, like I said, at the vet clinic. And I would also have spiritual encounterments where I have coworkers. One of them actually came from my Adventist background. Some of them were atheists. Some of them were Baptists. My veterinarian that I worked, he was actually a Baptist, but he was the only one that would pray every morning when we had devotionals. And I'd be like, oh, getting my insights, and we have deeper conversations. And I think it was like beautiful to see, like, no matter what religion we come from, it's still beautiful to talk about God in a loving way and to share stories too. And what is that like? Or why do you believe in this? And I started to solidify more of what I believe in and having a good, try to have a good relationship with God. And so, past forward that, I was like, okay, I do love animal science. Let's go to Andrews to do animal science because they have a program here. So I was like, let's do that. And so after I was done, doing the ministry work with my friends at the conference, I worked at summer camp. No, yeah, I came here and then I did a summer intensive class, physics, for a month. And then I started to miss like a fiery sensation of the ministry field. I was like, what is this, Lord? Are you calling me to something? And I was just rub it off to the side. And so I did my summer course, went back to Hawaii to do summer camp. And it was the most challenging, but most, lifting uh, experience of my life. I was a counselor, so I had about 14, 15 girls in my cabin, and I would do worship with them and play with them, and had a lot of challenges with them, gripping their own faith and their own belief with God, and end up two of them getting baptized at camp. And that was just even more solidifying, like, okay, God, like, I see your work. I see you working. I see you. I feel seen. And so after the camp, I went back. I'm like, I'm going to continue school there, whatever that entails. Came back to Andrews, started my year as an animal science major or a semester. Loved it, but still was unshaken. And I think I was just terrified and a little intimidated because I experienced God, but I didn't really have that much knowledge or philosophy on God because I didn't really grow up with all that stuff. But I was still learning as I was, going through that journey. And that's when I got spiritual counseling and all that stuff. And I remember going to him and be like, let's find your purpose. Like, what's your purpose? I said, I love helping people. I love kids. I love spreading the gospel. Like, I love the unconditional love that I received. I want to pour it out to people. Like, I understand why God wants us to reveal that and see that. And so we did a test, and then the five things that came out was empathy, spiritual, and fairness, and all these other sorts of characteristics. And I remember one day I just started to cry, and I was like, I think God's calling me to ministry, but I don't know how to say yes. Like, I could say yes to him, but I don't know. I'm not the greatest public speaker. I'm not really good at preaching. Like, I don't want to become a pastor. Like, I just want to work with kids, whatever that entails in the ministry. He was like, just pray about it. And I prayed about it. Next thing you know, I came back and I talked to the same spiritual counselor. I was like, you know what? I said yes to God. I'm going to do religion. And he was like, amen. And then I start tearing. I was like, God, I see you. Like, I love this. I love this so much. But it's it's even more crazy that a lot of challenges came after that just because you say yes. Like, the enemy wants to try and get you to say no again, or try to not pursue that relationship and like following him and doing the ministry field. But I mean, like, he could try, but I'm still here standing in front of you. And so, yeah, all that was, I remember being really depressed in a way because Andrews is not the best, I guess, because it's cold. If some of you don't know, like, it's really, really cold in the winter days. It's nothing but sticks you see, and it got really depressive. And I remember, you know, every September month was not my month that, like, I just mourned because I was challenging my identity with God. I was, I lost a person that holds dear to me, Ella, and I dealt with the breakup. And then the same month, my dog died, who was there for me with all that grief. And so, like, God, like, I'm dealing with this winter and this atmosphere, and I'm still new to Andrews. I said yes to you. I'm grieving because all this thing happened in my life, but I know there's a reminder for me to share my testimony and to, mold me into the person, into the best leader, the best discipleship that I could be, to spread your gospel. Like, but the next thing is, you help me find community at home, but help me find community here. And so I started to see God more and more as I got involved at one place, which is like the student led church here. And I got to do like some activities and, well, share my testimony too there. I started to help out with the collegiate Sabbath here at the Pioneer Church. And then now and then I started to deal with family things too. They were happy but not happy because they thought that I wouldn't be financially stable going to the ministry field. But I told them, like, I am going to be uh, financially, spiritually fulfilled, because no matter what, like, I know God's got my back. And so everything started to be good. Everything started to be grade and to place. And it was just like, you know what, like my mission and my goal is to not only share the gospel and to create personal relationships in community, but to help mental awareness too. Because kids
mm,
like me who struggle with depression and anxiety, and my best friend who struggled that as well, like I want to be a voice for them since I dealt with my own voice. And so
mm,
today, you know, standing here, still involved in those areas, now I got
mm.
to be in the position of a chaplain for the athletics. So I help the
Amen.
people in the sports. I'm still involved in the church. I do a small group Bible study with the girls. I am in a Andrews Association Club, so I help events with the theology and religion department.
Mm,
And so don't know what life entails after this. I know for sure I want to become a chaplain in a hospital to
mm,
work mental health and help people, you know, struggling their, you know, health and spiritual walk as well. And then from there, hopefully be a Bible teacher to these young adults because I believe that wholeheartedly this new generation that's
mm,
coming, you know, it's much need for mental awareness and
mm,
actual belief in God because I think it's getting harder today with social media and
mm,
people just so searching for that, you know, God, if he's real, if he really does show up, and he does.
mm, mm.
And yeah, so I'm actually, now that I am a religion major doing all those working for the Lord, I graduate in May and hoping to
Mm.
get, you know, a position at any Advent health.
Amen.
And so yeah, so that is my
Mhm.
in my story to you all.
Yes. Oh,
Amen.
wow. Beautiful, Zena. And oh, wow. From the little girl that you were when we were in Kaneohe in Hawaii way back, and with your family, and with Ella with us at the time, and Lay and Zam, and later on in Washington. And
Oh, yeah.
we've seen you grown and in a beautiful way. And um, as you know, we all know your family is our family. I was
Oh,
gonna say you casa, mi casa, but that was
oh,
the house, right? But thank you so much, Sina, for sharing your powerful testimony with us this morning. We know God is gonna continue to use you um, to bless more people as He has already done so with you and through you in the past. So God bless you more and advance congrats, and we'll continue to pray for you too. And
thank
we love you and your family. So,
you so much. Thank you all for allowing me to
uh,
my testimony, and I'll be praying for you all. Thank you, Pastor.
amen. All right.
Love you.
Okay. We love you too. All right.